Oh.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 57 of the Hot Stove Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Nunez, joined by Mark and Josh and Austin while I put my AirPods in and hopefully not fumble around with the microphone here because that would suck. I said it's episode 57 already, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. The microphone just changed to my AirPods. I'm going to switch that. Give me a second. Oh, God.
All right, cool. That's changed. We're back to the microphone here. Anyways, couple notes for the show today. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Hot Stove Pod. That's at Hot Stove Pod on Twitter. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like the video. Comment on the video. And also subscribe to the channel. But when you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when we're putting out that new shiznit. Otherwise, follow each of us on Twitter. Normal zhuzh. Other plugs. Check out What's in the Box For with Mark and Rick Wiener. Check out Popcorn Pillow Talk with myself and a couple of the guys over at Grapevine Media. That we just recorded a new episode earlier tonight, yesterday when you're seeing this. So we will have a new episode of the show out this week, and we'll be talking about the Oscars. We talk about dongs quite a bit in it. There's a lot of dong talk in the new episode.
Love it.
And then we talk about our expectations for Morbius that we'll be seeing this weekend, and probably have a review out early next week. And I'm not looking forward to it. But that is a story for a different podcast at a different time. Today, I love taking random water breaks to break
things up.
Yeah, to break up the noise here. Especially in the middle of sentences. It's my favorite time to drink some water. Josh, what are you watching?
The Sabres game, and Jeff Skinner was just robbed on he did the ye old wraparound. Holy crap. The Sabres are trying to come back from a 4-0 deficit. They've cut it to 3. My God, Skinner had it. What a great save by the defender to keep that one from going in. Wow.
Cool.
Truly tremendous.
Today, we're going to be doing our 2022 MLB season preview, a podcast I didn't think we would be doing at the end of March this year, to be very honest with you. But opening day is about 10 days away. It's very exciting. So we're going to have our normal season preview fair, which is going to be big takeaways from the offseason, award predictions, bold predictions, and playoff predictions. You know, we've done this for plenty of other leagues before. We've done this for Major League Baseball a couple times. So you know the deal at this point. We'll also be going back and looking at some of our predictions from last year to see how well those went. Spoiler alert, they didn't go well. And yeah, but first, we got trivia to do tonight. Not the trivia that Mark already knew, because he's also been watching the John Boy documentary on Dave's team, I assume. But the Sabres score, Josh?
They did!
This is insane. We've got 2 basketball trivia questions for you tonight. And they are as follows. We've got one. Here's the first one. What 4 rookies lead their team in minutes played this season?
Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes is one of them.
Jeez. Cade Cunningham?
Incorrect.
Jalen Green?
Nope.
Oh, ooh, wow.
Josh Giddey?
Nope.
Huh. Minutes per game or total minutes?
Total minutes.
I'm
Evan
just banking
Mobley.
on everyone. Yeah, damn it.
Evan Mobley is correct.
Damn it. That was my pick. But that's why I specified. But I also, everyone on the Cavs has been injured too, so.
Evan Mobley is the only one that hasn't been injured until today.
I was going to say, and he got hurt earlier.
Yeah.
So wait, did that hit? My internet went out. Was that hit?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
We got two left.
2 left. 1 in the East, 1 in the West.
Fudge. But he took my good answers, man.
David Duke, a rookie?
No, I
Whoa.
don't think so.
No, David Duke is not a rookie.
David Duke was the former Grand Wizard
That
of the
dude's a
Hawks.
consummate professional, okay?
David Duke Jr., I'm sorry, for the Brooklyn Nets.
Franz Wagner.
Franz Wagner is correct. Franz Wagner actually leads the Magic in minutes, in total minutes, by over 400.
I was thinking
God
they just
damn.
fucking
He's
suck.
played, not only is he the only person that's played more than 65 games this season, he's played every game for the team so far. He started every game this season.
Christ.
I'm not so sure I can name another rookie that doesn't come off the bench.
Is there one for the Kings?
It's not Davion Mitchell.
Oh, yeah, he's...
Like I said, he's in the West, and I'll give you another hint. He's not on a team that's competing.
He's in the West. Shit. That's
Who else
tough.
start? Oh, it's got to be a Trailblazer. Dude, it's got to be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Fuck.
I could see that.
Who the hell starts, dude? All I know is the
Yeah,
white dude
because-
that I sent you the 10-day contracts thing about the other day.
They traded CJ
Drew
and then
Eubanks?
Damian Lillard
Yes,
hasn't
Drew
played
Eubanks rocks.
Give me 1 second. I'm looking up this player to see how many games he's started this year. He's started 63 of the 72 games he's played. So yes, he is a starter.
I can't think of who the Trailblazers' first-round pick was last year.
I didn't say he was a Blazers player.
I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I have nothing as well.
I'm out.
This player is averaging 9.6 points per game. 3.8 rebounds per game. And he is 7th on the NBA's most recent rookie ladder.
Wow.
The articles that they post about
You
it.
7th on the most recent NBA rookie ladder?
I got
It's not
nothing.
me. No, it's not Zach Nunez.
Yeah, I don't think I can even
Oh.
name.
Little dude that LeBron took under his ring, Austin Reeves.
No. I said a team that's not competing. Unfortunately, the Lakers are competing.
Unfortunately, the 13 game under
They're like
Lakers
10th.
are.
Just because they're
Yeah,
in the
That's a
playoffs.
plan.
That's
No.
a
Yeah,
plan.
because of the system that LeBron didn't want, they are still competing.
That means
No.
competing.
The answer,
Yes.
in comparison to this rookie for the Pelicans, they are competing. This is Herbert Jones is the answer.
Herbert.
That dude rocks.
Jones.
He's on my fantasy team. That
Herbert
dude's a
Jones.
stud.
Eh,
Damn. He's like top
Herbert
50
Jones.
fantasy.
Yeah.
Big defensive dude. Good blocks and steals number on that.
Stocks, big stocks guy.
Huge stocks,
Huge.
yeah.
All right, second trivia question. There are 6 players in NBA history who have averaged 10 three-point attempts per game in a season. I want you to give me the 6
Curry.
players. Steph Curry is one of them.
James Harden.
James Harden is another one.
Seth Curry.
No, Steph Curry is not an answer. I'll give you a hint off the bat. They're all current players.
Yeah.
Damian Lillard.
Damian Lillard is one of them.
Oh.
This dude's just chalk, bro.
10 threes a game. DJ
Ever in the
McCollum?
season?
What'd you say, Mark?
It's ever in a season.
Yeah,
Like-
ever in a season.
I think it wasn't CJ.
No, it was not CJ McCollum.
Durant?
Nope.
I don't think so.
Westbrook.
No, it's not Russell Westbrook.
Evan Fournier.
If Evan Fournier averages 10 threes a game for a team, whoever's coaching that team should be shot in the face. Just like
Lights out.
Is Tatum
Dudes.
averaging 10 this year?
no,
Klay Thompson.
no, surprisingly.
Wow.
That's shocking.
I was gonna say I thought it was chalk. You guys didn't say it, so I was like, yeah, of course it's not Clay. Splash Bro. Duh.
LeBron.
No, it's not LeBron. A peek behind the curtain, by the way. When Tim sends me these trivia questions, he has me answer them. He doesn't just give me the answers. So I've already gone through this mental exercise earlier.
All right. I got two that are a lock. Buddy Hield
Buddy Hield is one of them.
Yep.
Damn, that was great.
and Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell is also one of them.
What a lock, dude.
Now.
There's one left, and I'll tell you this about him. It's technically an asterisk because he's doing it this season. So there's less than 10 games left in the year.
Jason Tatum.
Already guessed, and no.
Jason Tatum's brother, John Tatum.
Not John Tatum either.
Is it Deuce Tatum, his son?
It's not Deuce Tatum either.
LaMelo Ball.
It's not LaMelo Ball.
I can't believe this wasn't guessed yet. It had to have been Trae Young.
Surprisingly, no.
Oh,
Kyrie.
Nope.
Duncan
Holy shit,
Robinson.
Got half the games.
Oh, no, it's not Duncan Robinson.
Tyler Hero.
It's not Tyler Hero.
That seement like the better answer this year, though. Heroes low key balling.
What about this 3-point shoot? A 3-point contest loser.
Oh.
Fred VanVleet.
Fred VanVleet is the final answer.
I was thinking of
Correct.
the people in the 3-point contest, and I was like, Cat. There's no way Cat takes 3 or 10 threes a game.
Yep. Steph Curry, James Harden, Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, Buddy Hield, and Fred VanVleet are the 6 players who have averaged 10 3-pointers a game, 3-pointers attempted a game in a season. It's a fun fact for you. So that does it for trivia today. It's time to move on. Do you know how efficient that was? 13 minutes into the show, and we're already done with
It's
trivia.
crazy when we can actually get the questions right.
Yeah. Yeah. If we ask another question about 1970s baseball, we're going to be here for 45 minutes trying to figure it out.
Hey, you guys would be. Give me 5.
You son of a bitch.
So we're going to move on here talking about some Major League Baseball. But first, I think we should look back at some of our predictions from last year. So I know Austin wasn't able to find his, but he kind of remembers some. Josh, were you able to find yours?
I
Your
got nothing
predictions
for
last
you,
year?
partner.
Well, Mark and I have ours. And I will run you through. I'll actually share my screen so you can see it. I will run you through I have to widen it here so it looks better on the screen. These are my predictions from last year. As you can see, they didn't go well. Having had Yu Darvish as my pick for Cy Young, although Brandon Woodruff and Zach Wheeler were great picks. Picks. I did predict Bryce Harper for MVP. I talked a lot about last year before his y'all must have forgot season. And then I had the whole Brian Hayes debacle, in which I still think Brian Hayes is a very good player. But my bold prediction kind of went a little bit too far off the deep end there. Yeah. Moving down to the American League, Lucas Giolito, he's still a good pitcher, but that's beside the point. And then the A's refused to play Jesus Luzardo. Well, that and he broke his hand playing video games. So.
Yeah.
And then Dylan Bundy. I mean, Jesus Christ, what was I thinking here? I know he had a good 2020, but like,
Come on.
Dylan Bundy? I mean, Jesus.
Guy stinks.
The Jorge Soler thing, I'd like to say that I'm done with that, but when we talk about my predictions for this year, you'll see that I'm very clearly not done with that. So we'll get back to that later. But Mark, what were your predictions looking like last year?
For MVP, I had Trout as my winner, but I had Vladdy Jr. as my dark horse, so I feel pretty good about that because he finished second.
Mm.
My NL MVP, I had Soto, which I'm still fine with that pick. Cy Young, I had Garrett Cole, Tyler Glasnow, and Dallas Keuchel were the three guys I picked. So
you went deep. You went deep for Dallas Keuchel. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Cy Young, I picked Jacob deGrom to win. Walker Buehler was my dark horse, and Joe Musgrove was my long shot. Not great. Rookie of the year, I had
Walker
Andrew
Buehler
Vaughn.
was a finalist.
Well, yeah, but DeGrom got hurt halfway through the years, and Joe Musgrove
was good. He was good.
He was good, but he wasn't Cy Young.
No.
And then Rookie of the Year in the American League, I had Andrew Vaughn or Wander Franco. So, hey, there's something.
Did Wander Franco end up winning Rookie of the Year?
I honestly don't remember.
Third?
Came in third. I was just reading an article about it. Now, do I know who came in first? It was Randy Arozarena, was it not?
Oh, yeah, it was Rosarena. That's right.
Yeah, it was.
Because of those stupid ass rules. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to be like, of course I don't, but I did.
National League Rookie of the Year, I had Ian Anderson and Cabrian Hayes.
And Josh's boy won National League Rookie of the Year. So.
True.
That's right.
So before we get into our predictions for this year, I think we should talk about, it was Jonathan India. We should talk about the movers and shakers from this offseason. I mean, it was a strange offseason, obviously, because we had the lockout and everything's happened in the last 2 weeks, but also because when you look at CBS's list of the top 20 free agents right now, or in total, they had a list of the top 50, but I'm just looking at the top 20 at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Only 3 of them re-signed with their former team. That would be Chris Taylor, Clayton Kershaw, and Justin Verlander. The rest of them moved places. We had quite a bit of moving and shaking this offseason. So I want to pitch it to you guys. We're each going to give our one big takeaway from the MLB offseason. It can be a move. It can be a team. It can be anything. Mark, we'll start with you. What was your one big takeaway from the offseason?
I mean, I guess I'll go chalk here and say the Rangers, because wow, this team that was terrible last year and didn't seem like they were going to spend money just went out and signed Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, Jonathan Gray, Cole Calhoun, if you're into that, and just they spent over $500 million on 2 of the top 5 free agents, and then some really solid secondary pieces as well. They went absolutely berserk, and it all happened before the lockout. It was like the day before they went out and got Semien and Seager. So they're going to be a fun team to watch, despite the fact I still think they're going to be bad.
Yeah, they're finally getting closer to fielding a competent lineup, especially now with trading for Mitch Garver, who I cannot stress just how good of a hitter he is. So in the last 3 years, he has I heard this on a podcast this morning. I don't want to mess it up. I think it's the second highest OPS of any catcher since 2019. Third highest, behind Yasmani Grandal and
Salvi.
No, it's higher than Salvador Perez. It was like a 980 OPS in the last 3 years. I can't quite remember who it was. Anyways, that's beside the point. And last year, if you take out April, which is when every hitter was awful because of the whole spider attack thing. If you take out April, Mitch Garver had a 991 OPS last year. That guy can hit.
Yeah.
And he's finally with a team that'll actually play him like a catcher, as opposed to the Twins who are just hell-bent on not playing him, I guess. But yeah, the Rangers are interesting to me. There were a couple of teams that almost all of the top the top few free agents or so signed with teams that gave me a little bit of this motion. The Carlos Correa deal, the Chris Bryant deal in particular. We'll talk about that in a moment. Josh, why don't we pitch it over to you? What's your big takeaway from this offseason?
Yeah, well, I know we've been throwing out a couple teams that we think are going to make the big move. I'm debating between two. To be honest with you, I kind of blacked out there for you, so I don't know if I'm repeating one. But I'm gonna go with the Mets here. The Mets. I'm sticking it in New York. Did anyone say that?
No.
God, I'm so good, dude. I knew I didn't. And so I'm a big pitchers guy, right? Big pitcher guy. I'm excited to see what that rotation can do. Yeah, huge take.
Rob
Manfred hates me. That's true. Well, I mean, the lineup's fine, man. The pitching sucks, though. Pitching
is the lineup fine?
It's all right. It's all right. But yeah, I mean, DeGrom, Scherzer. The third guy's not that bad. I think they got Matt Harvey coming back. They're really killing it.
Who did they just get in?
Chris Bassett.
Yeah,
that's
Chris
the one.
Bassett.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm huge on Chris Bassett.
Matt Harvey's coming back. He just caused the guy to die.
Did he kill someone?
Kind of.
He was the major player implicated in the Tyler Skaggs thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was when he was Dark Knighting too. Or, well, it would have been after the fall
well,
down. That makes sense.
Yeah, this is after he turned shit.
Total sense.
Yeah.
Damn.
You know what's funny about that? This offseason has been so crazy that since the Mets made all of their moves before the lockout, it's just I kind of forgot until today or yesterday when Mark was talking about it, Max Scherzer plays for the Mets now. And Max Scherzer is the number 2 in the Mets rotation, at least as long as Jacob deGrom's arm can last, because I still have questions about that. But that is spooky. That's scary and spooky. And they signed Starling Marte, who's already hurt. It's gone great for them. So
Mark Canha
signed Mark Canha, who can get on base and nothing else. It's Brandon Nimmo from the right side. They really love that for them. But good for the Mets. Steve Cohen is spending a lot of money. We'll just see if it ends up in being a good team. But if not, Mets gonna Met. Austin, what about you?
Everyone here is gonna, try and latch on to the who got some good guys, who's gonna turn it around, who's gonna be good. I'm gonna go on the other trend here, and we have a new team entering the fray here of the we don't give a fuck. It's all about money. The Oakland A's, trading everybody away, and not signing a single soul.
Yeah, the A's haven't spent a They signed They signed Sergio Romo, right? Or no, that was the Mariners. My bad.
Stephen Vogt. They re-signed Stephen Vogt, and then for the 13th time, they signed Jed Lowry.
Jesus. What does that make? A grand total of $6 this year they spent?
I think it's $2.5 million.
It's just terrible, and maybe they're trying to start a movement here. Maybe enough teams do this, then we start getting some minimum salary cap rules, and maybe they're just starting to chart a trend. They're not selfish or greedy. They're starting a movement.
I think the Tigers and the Reds have already started that movement, and the Orioles.
Tigers.
For that matter. Oh, I guess the Tigers did sign someone. Sorry. The Tigers are making their move.
Tigers have spent crap ton of money since 2013.
I'd also like to say
still paying Jordan Zimmerman. Are they still
paying Miguel Cabrera $35 million a year.
I feel that. I think Votto's getting about that.
At least Joey Votto's still good.
Yeah.
Dude, bangs.
One thing that actually pisses me off about this offseason with a specific team The team that made me the angriest this offseason was actually had nothing to do with any signings or moves they made. It's the Baltimore Orioles, in the fact that they decided to move the left field fence 30 feet back from the entirety of the left field. So from the left foul pole all the way out to left center, the entire fence is moved 30 feet back and like 6 or 7 feet up in height. Effectively neutering half of their lineup. Include specifically Ryan Mountcastle, one of the main building blocks of the team, because he doesn't hit the ball particularly hard and he has awful plate discipline. So the 260 with 33 home runs that he had last year is a bye-bye. All because of the fact that they can't develop a pitcher to save their fucking life. Newsflash to your team. Newsflash to all yous. Don't effectively make your team worse because you're a poorly run organization. It's not the fence's fault that you can't develop a good pitcher.
That's fair.
It's not the ballpark's fault that you can't develop a good pitcher. Yes,
Would it be fair to say that the last good product out of Baltimore was Jeremy Guthrie?
No, he was terrible.
What? What?
Jeremy Guthrie was awful. No, I was talking to Rick about this. Chris Tillman doesn't count as a good pitcher. All right, he had like 2 good years. The last good pitcher the Orioles developed, Mike Messina.
Yeah.
It's been
the problem is because all the pitchers
5 years.
all the pitchers that we thought were good, or all the pitchers that ended up being good from the Orioles, didn't end up being good until they left the Orioles.
Yeah.
Because they're a terribly run organization. I'm looking at you, Dallas Keuchel. I'm looking at you, the 1 year of Dylan Bundy that we got that was good. Oh, what team was Dallas Keuchel with? Oh, no. I'm sorry. Jake Arrieta. That's what I was thinking of. My bad.
Jake Arrieta.
Sorry, I'm Jake Arrieta, not Dallas Keuchel. I'm looking at you, Kevin Gausman, for one. Like, the moment he leaves Baltimore, shocker, he's a good pitcher again. Or he's a good pitcher. Who'd have thunk? So that annoys me. All right, that's my general annoyance with the offseason. Don't change your ballpark. Don't blame your ballpark for the fact that you can't effectively develop pitchers.
Also, can I bring up that news I sent you guys from earlier today?
Oh, one more thing. Yes, it's going to help John Means a little bit, and John's does Means business. All right, because he is a lefty who's very fly ball dependent. That will effectively help him. But be better. All right, because what they've done is they've taken the ballpark as it was, which was one of the best ballparks in baseball, from what I've heard from people who've been. I've never been to Camden Yards. And effectively a launching pad, and made it quite literally the worst ballpark for right-handed power in baseball. It's now, in moving it's not a small move either. 30 feet back.
That's huge.
It's now the longest distance out to left field in all of baseball. They moved it from a launching pad to the farthest left field in baseball. When their 2 best hitters on the major league team, well, 2 of their 3 best hitters, because Cedric Mullins is a better hitter than Ryan Mountcastle. That's beside the point. When their two of their best hitters are not particularly powerful, pull heavy right-handed hitters. I don't get it.
All because of Gleyber Torres.
All because of Gleyber Torres. Gleyber Torres hits 20 home runs against him in 1 year. And they're like, oh, fuck, we got to change it. Oh, dang it. It's the ballpark's fault. It's not our fault. What were you going to say, Mark?
I just wanted to bring up, speaking of news that I fucking hated and is stupid. Major League Baseball is moving second base forward halfway through the season.
Yeah, it's easily the worst part of the CBA is that it introduced a 45-day window for rule changes, which means that Major League Baseball can institute new rules midway through a season if they feel like it.
Fucking ridiculous.
The dumbest part of the article, to me, the dumbest part was like, they tried to sell it like it wasn't that big. They're like, move it up a small 13.9 inches. And I'm like, I mean, that's more than a foot. I'm like, that's a pretty big disparity. Yeah, if it was like 3.5 inches, I'd be like, all right, that's average, But
some would say that that's even more than average. Actually, that's quite a long distance.
Yeah, I mean, 3.5. You could still pleasure the fans with that distance, but I scored. Another scrap.
Oh! Anyways, the Sabres just battled back from 4-0 to take the lead, so that's cool. But
waiting for everybody to miss the bag on double plays second half of the season.
Well, here's the thing. Again,
I've only been doing it like this for 20 years.
It's the small things that make it worse. Is like, had they done this before the season, like had this just been a part of spring training, had the bases already been moved before spring training parts, nobody gives a fuck. Who cares?
Yeah, whatever.
It changes the dimensions of the diamond a little bit. It's not going to be that big of an adjustment for players. Like, it wouldn't have mattered. But
if anything, it helps catchers and it helps hitters because you do have a shorter distance to run from first to second.
Yeah, which is what okay. The problem is that they insist on doing things in the middle of the season, which it just blows my mind every time because they're the only league that does this. Yep. Imagine if the NFL halfway through the season said, you know what? We're changing down in distance from 10 yards to 8.5 yards. You have to get 8.5 yards to get a first down. Imagine if they just did that around Halloween.
You
know how stupid that is?
After the All-Star break, the NBA was just like, you know what? 3-point line back 2 more feet.
Yeah. Like they just repainted every court to move the 3-point line back after the All-Star break.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. Illogical, completely illogical. But hey, man, they get paid the big bucks and I don't. All right.
We do a much better job.
My on-field movers and shakers that surprises me the most. Well, not surprise me. That's excuse me, the best. It's my new favorite team. It's the Seattle Mariners. Seattle Mariners be making moves.
I was letting you take that one.
Robbie Ray, they trade for the Wink, who I have plenty of questions about myself, but that's beside the point. Largely due to the fact that he hits like 170 against righties. So to maintain even a good batting average, he has to continue to hit 350 or a 170 against lefties. He hit 350 against righties last year. That shit ain't happening. I'm sorry. So, is he going to end up playing every day? Probably not. But that's, again, beside the point. Who cares, right? The Mariners are my team to watch this year because they're basically ready, right? Last year was the test run. Now they've gone out. They've paid the big money for the Cy Young winner. They continue to have all of these high-level prospects that are ready. Julio Rodriguez is looking more likely by the day that he'll be their opening day center fielder. So this is the time for the Mariners to not only end the drought but to assert themselves as a real contender in the American League. I think they got the tools to do it. Would I have liked them to go out and get one more bat? Probably. Like signing Chris Bryant, for example. That would have been
unfair.
Would have put them in the upper echelon of the American League. I still think they're decidedly second tier in the league at the moment, but they're ready to make that jump. And I think basically the Tigers, which is the other team that's been kind of linked in this whole process thing between the two of them, the Tigers are essentially a year behind. Like I see the Tigers now as what you saw the Mariners with last year, basically. They've got the prospects ready. They're starting to build. They're starting to sign some high-level free agents. I don't think they're quite as ready to actually compete as the Mariners are. But like next season, I think is the Tigers' year to jump back into it. I don't know if anybody else thinks that's fair or foul. I don't know. That's just the way I see it.
I have a take about the Tigers in a little bit.
Oh, he's going to have them making the playoffs. He's going to have them winning the World Series.
I know they're pitching
No.
prospects. I don't know of any other than Babadoo. I don't know.
They have 2 of the top 10 prospects in baseball, and
5.
Spencer. 2 of the top 5 prospects in
Yeah.
baseball, and Spencer Torkelson and Riley Green, who, again, are both not
I heard
locked,
about that Riley Green kid.
but are not unlikely to make the opening day roster. But we'll see. We'll see. They also signed Javi Baez, so Austin gets to deal with that now. So let's move ahead here to our 2022 awards predictions. We're going to start by talking about who we got picks to win awards this year. And then we'll have some bold predictions. And then we will do the Sabres score again.
They score with 10 seconds left. They win the game. They're going to win the game.
Wow. We're going to talk awards here and then some bold predictions. And then we'll get into our playoff predictions. So let's start in the National League. National League Cy Young Award. Best pitcher in the league, right? We all know how that works. My pick, it's a little chalky, but the guy's still good, so it don't matter, right? My pick is going to be Max Scherzer to win the Cy Young. Goes to a bit of a better ballpark, still a good lineup. Assuming health, he'll be a finalist. As long as he makes 30 starts or whatever, he'll be a Cy Young finalist. What the hell do you want me to do about it? You know, Max Scherzer is my pick, but I like talking about the guys underneath, right? The dark horse candidates, the long shot candidates. That's where I make my bread and butter. I got 2 dark horse candidates in the National League. One of them, dude's a stud. Both of these guys are studly. One of them is Sandy Alcantara, especially if the swing and miss gets upped a little bit, because he's one of those weird pitchers where like he throws really hard, but doesn't necessarily miss as many bats as you would think for someone that throws as hard as he does. The dude is an absolute workhorse, and if the swing and miss goes up, he gets more strikeouts. Could absolutely be a finalist this year. The thing that's holding him back is that he plays for a bad team, and the voters still care about wins for some reason. So that'll probably hurt him. But my other dark horse is Max Fried, who's one of my favorite pitchers to watch. Arguably the best, if not one of the best, at limiting hard contact and inducing ground balls. Has had, which helps him in the sense that his ERA is naturally going to be fairly low. If you, for example, I'm looking up his baseball reference page right now as I talk. He has a career 334 ERA, had a 304 ERA last year. And if you take out the first 3 starts of the season where he was pitching through an injury, through the first 3 starts of last year before he went on the IL, if you took out those 3 starts, he had a 2.4 ERA last season. This dude can flat out pitch. He's not going to have the gaudy strikeout numbers that a lot of pitchers are going to have. He's going to have just under a strikeout per inning. But playing for a Braves team that's still good, still going to win a lot of games, and could have the flashy ERA number that voters like. Max Fried could be one of those guys this year. And then my long shot is going to be a guy who I consider to be Max Fried light, and that would be Ranger Suarez of the Philadelphia Phillies. Similarly great at limiting hard contact and inducing ground balls. The thing that's holding him, I mean, he had a sub-2 ERA last year. In half a season starting, right? He ended up making 12 starts last year, a 1.36 ERA last year, between relief and the starting rotation. What's going to hold him back, generally speaking, and it's what I should have talked about for my big takeaway, is that the Phillies defense is going to be the worst in baseball, and it's not particularly close. So, Aaron Nola, for example, might actually do the thing again this year. Last year, he had like a 4.25 ERA with like a 3.4 FIP. Might do it again this year, and Ranger Suarez might have the same problems. Because any ground ball, for example, that's hit to the left side of the infield is just going to be an adventure, generally speaking. But
Even
Ranger Suarez,
pop-ups.
yeah. Ranger. I mean, we're going to see days. We are going to see days where the starting outfield for the Philadelphia Phillies is Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos in left center. Those days are gonna exist. That's just icky. But yeah, what are your guys' picks for NL Cy Young?
Well, my winner is a guy that I had as a dark horse last year. Had a great year this past year. I expect him to do it again. That's Walker Buehler. I think he's really establishing himself as the true ace of that Dodgers staff. After the year he had last year, I know Julio Urias had all the wins, and he had a great year as well, and Clayton Kershaw is still there. But this is Walker Buehler's staff, and the guy's just an absolute bulldog. Great strikeout stuff. He can go deep into games. He holds his velocity well, so he can eat innings. So I'm excited to see him this year. My dark horse is a guy that I am in love with, and he had his coming out party in the postseason last year, and that's Logan Webb for the Giants. I think this guy is an absolute legit number one starter. I think the Giants pitching staff is going to be interesting this year, but I think Logan Webb is going to carry a huge load for them. And I think he could easily go out there and put up like a 2.5 ERA. He induces so many ground balls. The Giants have a good defense. It might be an adventure at times because, that division is absolutely stacked in terms of lineup. The National League West has so many great hitters in it, but I still really like Logan Webb. And my long shot is my same long shot as last year, Joe Musgrove. So yes, I have 3 pitchers from the National League West in the Cy Young conversation, and no, I don't care.
Damn, you had a long shot who pitched did he have a perfect game, right?
No,
he had a no-hitter.
Oh yeah, everyone had
and
a
he's
no-no.
still like the 3rd best starter in that rotation when they're all healthy.
Josh, what about you?
Well, I alluded to it earlier, NL Cy Young Award, Max Scherzer of the New York Mets. Already 3-time Cy Young Award winner, Max Scherzer will have a fantastic opportunity to pick up the honor for the 4th time. He's going to be the ace of the Mets rotation, eating up innings with Jake DeGrom likely on an innings limit due to elbow issues in 2021. In a
What
compressed
article are you
season,
reading?
a sub
Yeah, what are you
2.5
reading?
ERA with a K to walk ratio over 27%. It can end with Scherzer further cementing his legacy. That's my opinion.
What article are you reading this from? And I assume you didn't take any notes.
It's Odd Shark. I wrote it down.
I see.
This is
You only did it based on betting favorites.
No, I thought it'd be a good bit, but
Mark,
I wrote it down.
Mark, do you know if there's ever been anybody in Major League history to win a Cy Young with 3 different teams?
Clemens.
Mm-hmm.
Randy Johnson only did it with 2. Steve Carlton only did it with 2, I believe. I don't think Tom Seaver won with the Reds.
Sabathia?
I think it might. No, Sabathia only won 1 Cy Young. It might. I think it's just Roger Clemens, but I could be wrong about that.
Okay. Austin, why don't you?
This one's chalk as it gets. I'm with Mark. Walker Buehler, the ace of the staff of. I'll talk more about the Dodgers later, but the ace of that team. A lot of wins coming his way. I think it's going to be a pretty easy walk in the park for him as long as he stays healthy. My dark horse is who me and Mark had as rookie of the year last year. I'm still riding the Ian Anderson wave. I don't care what anyone says. I've seen his peak in the 2020 playoffs. I know what he's capable of.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got healthy competition on that same rotation, so I like him.
All right, we are going to move on to the MVP conversation this time around. Josh, do you have something to say? You're putting your hand up against something.
No, my goddamn Wi-Fi. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
My pick for National League.
What's that?
MVP. We're doing MVP.
Okay.
My pick for National League MVP is going to be Juan Soto. Ooh, gasp.
Oh,
Juan Soto, wow. Arguably the best hitter in baseball. 22-year-old Ted Williams, whole bit that we've already talked about, right? Gasp. I don't really need to explain it. Also in there, I couldn't quite pick him as a dark horse because he's too good of a player. And that's going to be Manny Machado. I'm a big Manny Machado guy, candidly. And he's just quite good at baseball.
Yeah.
So throw that name out there. Dark horse is going to be Matt Olson. Specifically, if he can keep the gains and strikeout and walk rate that he had last year, moving to a smaller ballpark in Atlanta. I mean, the dude could legitimately hit 45 plus home runs with a 270 average. And that'll play in the MVP race. And then I have two long shots, and they're both tied to guys who can hit a lot of home runs. One of them is the newest addition to the Phillies no defense team, and that's Kyle Schwarber. Citizens Bank Park, is that where they play in Philadelphia?
Yes.
That's right.
That is a park that should do good things for a left-handed power bat in Kyle Schwarber. I like to say this. I found the on DraftKings they have the best odds of anything when it comes to a season future this year. The home run total on DK for Kyle Schwarber is 30.5. Assuming he plays even 2/3 of the season, you smash that number. You smash it. You smash the over like I did.
Mm-hmm.
And then my other pick for a long shot is a guy who I picked as a long shot last year for the American League, though. And this time he's in the National League this time. And it's all going to be tied to him figuring out or him staying consistent with some gains that he's shown previously. And that would be Jorge Soler. In 2019, he cut his strikeout rate down to about league average, low 20s or so, and hit 48 home runs. And then the strikeout rate shot back up in 2020 in the first half of 2021. And then as soon as he went to the Braves, it shot back down again. And we know what happened from there. The man won World Series MVP. So this is a guy that is one of the handful of guys in baseball who I think have legitimate 50 homer upside. The Marlins aren't going to be good, so that's not going to help. But Stanton did it for a Marlins team that also wasn't very good. And obviously Stanton hit what, 57?
59?
59? Who the hell remembers? I mean, Josh remembers because, well, Josh and Austin probably remember because he robbed, depending on who you asked, robbed Joey Votto and or Nolan Arenado of an MVP that year.
That's true.
But yeah, Jorge Soler is my long shot to win MVP. Mark, what about you?
My winner, I've got Freddie Freeman going to the Dodgers. We've already seen him win an MVP before. The guy's still an incredible player. The Dodgers are going to be a very good team, so don't have to worry about that with him. It's just he's so consistent, always puts up the numbers, always in the MVP race. So I went a little chalky there. My dark horse is also Matt Olson. I think he's a perfect fit in Atlanta to replace Freddie. Great defender, and I agree. I think 45 home runs in that ballpark is not too much to ask by any means. It is a good ballpark for left-handed power hitters like Olson, so I could see him hitting a lot of home runs there. And then my long shot, it might not seem like a long shot. The guy's a former MVP, but he's going to be on a very bad team, and he might hit 55 home runs, and that's Chris Bryant. He might just go out there in Colorado and hit 350. Like, he's going to love hitting in that ballpark. He already hits the ball hard. It's only going to carry that much further in Colorado. And just, it might be, like you said, one of those, you said Soler, but, Stanton type. Yeah, he's on a bad team, but look at the fucking numbers he put up.
Yeah. Josh, Austin, what about you guys? MVP picks.
I'll go next, if you don't mind, NL most valuable player, Juan Soto, the Washington Nationals. Juan Soto's the leader in the NL MVP race, for good reason. With Tatis Jr. out until July, the most legitimate competition to Soto is gone. It's still possible Freeman or Mookie Betts makes a run at the award, but in my mind, we'll bet on the best hitter in baseball to take home the honor.
All right.
You couldn't ad-lib that to Isle?
This is a good one. Austin, what about you?
Yeah, for me it's Soto again. I picked him last year too. Like Mark said, I wasn't too upset about that because 50-50 at the end of the season. But my major worry is that team is just not good.
That's true.
And it's like I think he's still gonna slash ridiculous numbers. I just think his totals might be a little low for runs and RBIs, kind of standard stats that the old timers still appreciate. So I think that could be a bit scary. But I mean, he's not human. So
you might not see a strike until May with that lineup.
Nope.
Well, the top 5 in the lineup isn't bad. Now that they've got Nelson Cruz, so that'll help. But
I had a long shot. I switched it up though because I also had Matt Olson, but I wanted to switch it up and go a different Brave that I think has a shot here, and that's Ozzie Albies.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a Marcell Ozuna. I definitely agree.
No, I don't like him. So, but he's part of the reason. I think with Olson, Riley, Ozuna hitting behind him, and Swanson too, I think that he gets out to a hot start, hits above 300, gets on base, steals some bases. He could put up some big numbers, some big run numbers, and that team could be very, very good if he gets on base a lot. So I think he's a dark horse for at least contending. I don't know if he's actually got a shot at winning, but yeah.
All right. Now it's bold prediction time for the National League. I'll go first. Like I said, it was tied to one of my MVP long shots. We're headed back to the Jorge Soler well. And we're not going quite as crazy as last year. If you remember last year, I said that Jorge Soler was going to hit 56 home runs.
Did he hit half of that?
No, he was terrible in the first half of the year. But I will say my bold prediction is that Jorge Soler does lead the major leagues in home runs this year and is the first hitter since Giancarlo Stanton to hit 50 home runs in a season. So he hits a clean. My bold prediction is that Jorge Soler leads the majors with a clean 50 home runs this year. That's my bold prediction. That's it. That's the prediction.
Nunez, we have the same bold prediction for a different player because mine was the exact same thing except with Chris Bryant.
50 homers for Chris Bryant is lofty.
Yeah, but Colorado, we've seen him.
Bold.
Yeah, it's lofty, it's bold, but playing in that ballpark, I believe he hit 37 the year he won MVP. I know his power numbers the past couple of years haven't been what they were in his MVP season, but he's going to try to launch the ball. He's got that uppercut sort of swing, and 81 games in Colorado, man, it'll boost your numbers like that. So it was exactly the same. I said he'll be the first player since Giancarlo Stanton to hit 50 home runs. Like, it was exactly the same thing.
It's good. It's good. Josh, do you have a bold prediction for the National League this year?
Reds bad.
No.
Oh, here we go.
No, I do not.
Okay. Awesome. Right. What about you?
I'll whiz through this. I got two, but the one's really quick. Albert Pujols will get to 700 this season in the home run department. Back
how far is he
away?
11 home runs.
21.
Did I do the math wrong?
679.
I was doing 445 plus 234. Is it 224?
Yep.
34.
40 plus 30, 70. Everybody. Okay. Whatever. 679. He needs 21 home runs. I think that's kind of bold for him at this point in his career. Obviously, he's not an everyday guy.
That's
I don't
fair.
know how many games they're going to have him play. They're not a non-competitive team, so I don't see them just like saying fuck it, ticket prices, and just letting him play every day. So
Still mashes lefties. Hit over 290 with 13 home runs against lefties last year and like 140 plate appearances. So
Yeah.
then my
I like the prediction.
bold prediction: Max Muncy will lead the NL in home runs and RBIs, and the Dodgers will break the win record.
Ooh.
I think Max Muncy is in a perfect spot with Turner and Freeman hitting in front of him. Oh,
and Mookie Betts and Trey Turner. I mean,
Yeah,
Muncy's probably going to hit fourth in that lineup, so he'll be hitting behind Turner, Freeman, and Betts. That'll be fun.
absolutely disgusting.
Or not? Trey Turner. Yeah.
If home runs doesn't come through, RBIs still has a great shot at coming through. That guy, it's just gonna be an insane season for him. And I think I think the Giants take a small step back. I'm not saying they're gonna be bad. I'm saying they're not gonna be 107 win good.
Yeah.
And so
For sure.
where are those wins gonna go? I don't know. I think the Dodgers get to 116 plus.
I like it. I like that prediction. Let's move on to the American League here. American League Cy Young. My pick is going to be Justin Verlander. A couple things going for it. Justin Verlander is now 18 months removed from Tommy John surgery. If you looked at him in his spring starts so far, it looks like Justin Verlander. And for a team that is competitive in the Astros this year, and Justin Verlander in the waning years of his career, they have no reason to baby him with innings. I expect him to be 100% starting on opening day. And with the track record of Tommy John surgery, specifically for guys who have been out this long, I expect him to be Justin Verlander this season. And the last time that we saw Justin Verlander for a whole season, might I remind everybody, he won the Cy Young in 2019 after posting, let's see the numbers, 223 innings with, where are the numbers here? 223 innings with a 2.58 ERA and 300 strikeouts en route to winning the Cy Young in 2019. I think he can cross 200 innings again this year and get close to that 300 strikeout number again this year. We haven't seen any sort of skills decline. And with guys who are this kind of generationally great, I picked Scherzer to win the NL Cy Young as well. They defy all sorts of aging odds. So I'm not concerned about him being a 37-year-old pitcher coming off of Tommy John surgery. I think it's all systems go for Justin Verlander this year. And he's still one of the 5 or so best pitchers in baseball as it sits right now. So my dark horse for the – yes, Josh?
Is Justin Verlander, is it just me, or does he feel like he's baseball's Aaron Rodgers? Kind of get what I'm
He's
saying?
not. I don't think he's nearly as unlikable as Aaron Rodgers is.
yeah,
That's fair.
Yeah, he seems pretty well liked, generally.
True.
So little differences, but I see your point.
I see where I was going.
I see where you're going. My dark horse for the award is going to be the Blue Jays do it again, this time with Kevin Gausman. It's quite the good team. The thing that really trips me up, though, is that Kevin Gausman has a strange way of pitching. Basically, he relies so much on a splitter, something that can be very touchy. But a team upgrade, a division downgrade is in both lineups they have to face and parks, make it a little shaky. But Kevin Gausman, he's a good pitcher. I'm going to take that. And long shot this year is a pitcher that I fucking love. Love this guy. And it's going to be, for this to happen, it would be the second year major leap that you would only see out of an elite pitcher. And I think he's got that kind of potential in him. And that's Logan Gilbert of the Seattle Mariners. This dude, he doesn't throw the hardest, but you're 6 foot, however tall he is. The dude's huge. However tall he is. Fun fact for you, Logan Gilbert has an extension so far that his release is over 7 feet off of the rubber. So 95 coming from him probably looks closer to 99 to most batters. So if he can lock down a couple of those, some consistency issues and and some control issues. Maybe learn from Robbie Ray a little bit coming in that clubhouse now. Logan Gilbert could be primed to make a huge leap this year with the Mariners, and I love his stuff. So he's my long shot for Cy Young this year. What about you, Mark?
Well, my winner is I'm also going to go with a guy that is going to be fully healthy this year. Hopefully, he is fully healthy as of now, coming off of an injury last year, which he got shut down in like July. And that's Shane Bieber. We've seen what Shane Bieber is. He was great before he got shut down last year. The strikeout stuff is off the charts. If he's healthy, he's going to eat innings for a not very good Cleveland team. And he's about all they've got going for them right now in terms of pitching. So they're going to want to use him a lot. He has been a workhorse. And I like him to have a big bounce back year this year, a la your thoughts on Verlander. Dark horse. I don't even know if this guy should be a dark horse anymore because he's just good every year, and it's Lance Lynn. And speaking of Bulldogs, this guy is just going to go out there and get you 8 innings. The strikeout numbers are good. Like I said, he's going to eat a lot of innings, and I don't know, man. There's something about Lance Lynn I've always liked, and it wouldn't surprise me if one of these years he just went out there and really shoved for an entire season. And then my long shot is a similar theme to you, Nunez, the guy that I think can take a huge second-year jump that we see out of elite pitchers from time to time. Except mine plays in the AL East, and his name is Shane McClanahan.
Shane O'Mac.
This guy is...
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
This guy's
Here comes the
filthy.
money.
He struck out over close to 11 guys per 9 last year, or 10.3. Yeah, he had 10.3 strikeouts per 9 last year. Didn't throw a ton of innings in 25 starts. He only threw 123 in the third. But I expect the innings number to go up a bit. And I think he's going to, depending on the health of Tyler Glasnow, really be the go-to guy for the Rays.
All right. Josh, what about you?
I mean, you guys are really good at this thing. I think we all agree on a lot of these. AL Cy Young Award, I'm also going to go with Shane Bieber, the Cleveland Guardians. Fully healthy, Shane Bieber can retain his status as the best pitcher in the American League. He recorded a 1.63 ERA in the COVID-shortened 2020 season. As the leader of the Guardians rotation, a team that will rely on pitching to contend, Bieber has a great shot at winning his second Cy Young Award.
Josh, I hope you know this is a legitimately funny bit.
It is a good bit.
Austin, what about you? What are your picks for the awards?
Yeah, this is tough. My official pick is going to be a split tie, 2 guys on the same team.
Cool.
Lance Lynn and Lucas Giolito. I think that this is the worst division in the AL. I think that there's no team better than mediocre besides the White Sox in that division. So I think they're both going to run into a lot of wins. I just don't know which one of them is going to pitch better. Lance Lynn was better last year. Giolito obviously had the peak of all peaks, but I don't know. I just can't fall into either one. I think they're both just going to be pretty solid. My bold prediction guy here, not a bold prediction, long shot. Sorry, I don't want to mix things up. Long shot, just like you guys, 2nd-year stud, plays in the same division, homer pick, Casey Mize. Now, I don't think he actually has the stuff to do it because baseball's trending towards high wins and high K numbers. He's more of a guy who's going to have a low 3 ERA, not give up a lot of hits, and not be too flashy. He's just going to be a good pitcher. So I don't know if he's really got the stuff to contend for a Cy Young, but I think he's got a good chance to win 10 to 15 games with a 3.1, 3.2 ERA and look really good this season.
I like it. We're all going with those 2nd-year breakouts as our long shots. Time to move on to the MVP discussion. And my pick, you can call it Homer, but I call him, frankly, one of the best hitters in baseball. And somehow someone that goes underrated in that conversation, and that's Aaron Judge. Last year, you saw real tangible improvements in not the quality of contact. Obviously, he's still top 5 in baseball in terms of quality of contact. I literally just had the numbers up and I can put them away. Yeah, a barrel rate, by the way, last year of 17.6%, which the league average is 6.6%. And hard hit percentage 58%. MLB average is 35%. Most importantly for Aaron Judge, he got his strikeout rate down to a basically league average 25% last year. And upped his walk rate from 2020 to 12%, which is still lower than he was earlier in his career. He just tends to swing a little bit more in those kinds of counts at this point. But he's making more consistent contact with the baseball, striking out less. He hit 287 with 39 home runs last year. And in a Yankees lineup that's projected to, I would say, probably be a little bit better than they were last year. I think it would be fair to say the Yankees lineup underperformed a little bit last season. 200 combined runs in RBI is not out of the question for Aaron Judge, and a guy that can hit 280 plus with 40 home runs and 200 combined RBI runs in RBI is an MVP caliber player. So, I just hit my microphone. My dark horse, I got two dark horse picks. They both played for the same team, and they're both young players who have already made that leap into the elite status. And those are going to be Kyle Tucker and Jordan Alvarez for the Houston Astros. Jordan Alvarez essentially just is Aaron Judge from the left side of the plate. In terms of the quality of contact that he makes, the amount of contact that he makes, while still also being, kind of a swing and miss power hitter. Kyle Tucker, on the other hand, is going to hit for some more average, steal some bases as well. He's a raw dog. He doesn't wear gloves, which is even better. Kyle Tucker, Jordan Alvarez. Oh, and also Luis Robert. It was another dark horse of mine. I picked too many guys. And then my long shot is going to be dependent on this player taking an extra leap in the ripe age of his age, or in the ripe year of his age 20 season. And that'll be Wander Franco. If Wander Franco puts it all together and starts to hit for some more power than he did last year, the plate discipline is already there, obviously. The contact skills are already there. There's of course a reasonable year where in his first full season in the majors, Wander Franco can compete for the MVP. It's not too much of a long shot, it's not unfathomable, I should say. So Mark, what say you?
I went chalk with my winner. I went with Vladimir Guerrero Jr., obviously coming off a near Triple Crown season last year. The kid's just an absolute stud. He's going to win an MVP within the next 3 years or so. I like it to be this year. My dark horse is a little more interesting because I think this is a guy that he does almost sort of go underrated despite the fact that he hit 38 home runs last year. And again, like you said, call me a homer. It's Rafael Devers. Devers in the middle of this Red Sox lineup, for all the faults the Red Sox have, very few of them are in the lineup. So he's going to have RBI opportunities. He's going to hit for power. He loves hitting at that ballpark. His walk rate went up last year. It was the best we've seen out of him. And he's just absolutely mashing the ball in spring training so far. So I know that isn't like a true tell of what could happen in the regular season, but it's something I like to see. And he looks like he's in great playing shape right now. And my long shot is also Wander Franco. I wouldn't be that surprised at all if Wander Franco found himself in the MVP conversation this year. Like you said, the plate discipline off the charts, the contact off the charts. The power will come. I don't know if this is the year that it will, but I think there's a ton of gap power there, even if the power doesn't fully develop yet. So we could be talking about a 50 double, 25 home run kind of season. And that's good enough to get you into the MVP conversation in most years when you'll have the average and on base that he will.
Yeah. Josh, what say you about MVP this year, American League MVP?
Yeah, well, Mark Mark, keep it out for me. Pass the chalk down this way. AL most valuable player, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays will be more reliant on Vladito than before following the departures of Robbie Ray and Marcus Semien. Fortunately, the 22-year-old boasts the talent to win a Triple Crown. Maybe he falls short of that in 2022, but he's our pick to be named the AL's most valuable player.
All right. Austin, what about you?
My AL MVP, I'm going to go something crazy here. You might not believe it. I'm the only one to pick this player. No surprise. I'm going to go Mike Trout. I don't know. I just
a good pick.
I also had to pick him
about this guy
because he's gonna stay healthy. Damn it! And if he stays healthy, he's not losing this award.
It's true.
It's just not possible. I don't have much else to say about Mike Trout. Yeah. My dark horse. Some would probably give him the 4th highest odds on his own team to win this award. I won't say much about him now because he'll also be in my bold prediction, but I'll say JD Martinez.
Okay. Do you have a long shot?
No. Other than a Homer Tigers pick, no.
Yeah, Akil Baddoo was my long shot to win MVP this year.
Robbie.
Yeah. All right. I will actually let you two go first with the bold predictions, because mine ties into playoff predictions. So we'll start that segment. I'll give my prediction. Mark, what's your bold?
It also ties into playoff predictions.
Okay, Austin.
I can piggyback off the JD Martinez thing right away then. JD Martinez, similar to Max Muncy, I went on this train again. He'll lead the AL in RBIs, and the Red Sox will have the best offense in all of baseball. And I don't know how bold that is, but, JD Martinez is good at baseball. People forget because there's so many good hitters on that team. But, yeah, he might hit 5th. He might have 4 hitters who all bet are just, insane hitters in front of him. That lineup is just so gross. I don't even want to look at it again. It freaks me out, man. So, that's my bold prediction.
Well, it's time to make playoff predictions. So very simply, I want each of us to give division winners, our 3 wild card teams, and that basically, and then we'll go into World Series predictions. So I'll start with mine. The AL East, I'm going to be taking. Oh God, this is the hardest division to pick. Oh Jesus. I'll come back to that. In the AL Central, I'm going to be taking the White Sox. I think the most complete team in the division, the only team in the division that I think can be an elite team, blah, 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 blah. In the AL West, I'm going to be taking the Seattle Mariners to win the division this year. Again, I think they're a really talented team. I think they've added some really great pieces, and it's going to come down a lot to their pitching, admittedly. Holding up beyond Robbie Ray and Logan Gilbert. But if it can, I think they have the potential to win the division. And in the American League East, I'm going to pick the Blue Jays to win the division. They've done quite a bit to make up for the fact that they've lost 2 of their, the Cy Young winner and an MVP finalist. Mostly in their pitching, just adding a bunch, not even necessarily the best pitchers, right? But they've added Yusei Kikuchi. They added a couple other guys who I can't remember right now.
Kevin Gausman.
Other than Kevin Gausman, yes. Yeah, other than Kevin Gausman as well. To keep that team afloat, and I think they can still be a top 5 offense in baseball. And I think it's arguable that they have the best overall pitching staff in baseball, or in the American League East. Sorry. I didn't want to. Their bullpen can be a little suspect still, but candidly, all of the bullpens in the division are suspect, so it doesn't matter. The wild card teams for the American League. I got to go with the Boston Red Sox. They're too damn solid. I got to go with the New York Yankees. I assume there will be a bounce back from the lineup. Hopefully they can add a fucking pitcher at some point. Who knows? But that only leaves one spot. And that's where my bold prediction comes in this year.
I think you stole my bold prediction.
And my bold prediction is that the Houston Astros miss out on the playoffs this year. And the Los Angeles Angels take the final wild card spot in the American League. I think this is the year that we finally get Mike Trout his second playoff appearance. Thankfully. It's partially with some of the stuff in the lineup coming together. If you get a healthy Trout, a healthy Anthony Rendon, who now in spring training is doing the whole best shape of my life bit, but a legitimately healthy Anthony Rendon is one of the best third basemen offensively in baseball. Joe Adell is having the best spring training of any player in baseball at the moment, any player of importance. And if he can figure it out in the major league level, he's got all the tools to be an elite outfielder. It's just that he's been quite overmatched by major league pitching. That's a formidable, can be a really formidable lineup. It's going to come down to pitching, of course, because God forbid the Angels get any good pitchers. But they got Ohtani. They have whatever's left of Noah Syndergaard. That's it. But anyways, I got the Angels making the playoffs, and I've got the Astros missing out on the postseason. Mark, we'll go to you next.
Yeah, my division winners are the same. I also have the Blue Jays, White Sox, and the Mariners. I also share two of your wild card teams. I think it's going to be the Yankees and Red Sox. I think it's hard for me to not say the Rays because they're the Rays. Of course, they're going to be good. But
I think with the Rays, we've finally gotten to the breaking point of their pitching staff is so talent bereft that they can't do this again.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But my third and my bold prediction is the Detroit Tigers. I think the Tigers, I thought last year I liked what I saw out of the Tigers more than I did the Mariners.
Even though the Mariners were the better team, that's a
well, whenever a team wins 90 games with a negative run differential, I have to assume a little bit of decline. Now they went out and made the moves to improve, but after the season last year, before any of the moves they made, I liked where the Tigers were at more. They competed every month outside of April. They didn't have a record worse than 500 after April. And they went out, they got Javi Baez, they got Eduardo Rodriguez, which I think is a big move for them. Add a veteran arm to that pitching staff who is going to succeed more in Detroit than he did in Boston because he is a fly ball pitcher, and that is a much bigger ballpark. So I think the Tigers not only make the playoffs, I like them to win a playoff series. I think the Tigers are going to be tough. I love that young pitching staff outside of Matt Manning. That guy sucks. But the rest of them, I love Casey Mize. I like Scooble. I like, who's the other one?
Matthew Boyd.
No, Boyd's on the Giants now.
Also, Matthew Boyd sucks. So
yeah, he's also bad.
Dude. Wow, dude.
What?
Austin, who's the other?
You mean the ERA leader through 6 starts last year?
Who's the other young pitcher on the Tigers?
Dune, right? Or Dunning? I'm just saying words.
No, Dane Dunning plays for the Rangers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whatever. I expect good things out of Torkelson and Riley Green because they will be on the Major League roster for a good portion of this season, even if they don't make the opening day roster. So I'm very bullish on the Tigers this year. I think they've got a legitimate chance to compete.
Talking about Michael Fulmer?
No.
Eduardo Rodriguez?
I already mentioned it. Never mind. Doesn't
Josh,
matter.
do you have any postseason predictions here?
Yeah, I got plenty.
Oh, okay.
These are mine. All right, these are, I went away from just, our picks, and I chose some liberty of my own here. So, Mark, are you bricked up over there?
A little bit.
Are you bricked up? I'm ready to get you bricked the fuck up. All right, because the Boston Red Sox are AL East champs, my friend. Okay.
No, they're not.
That's
Their pitching staff is atrocious, but thank you.
who needs pitching when you've got that lineup, my friend. You know it. You don't
But
need
they might
pitching.
score 8 a
Pitching's
game and give up
hoax.
9.
Who's to say? It's all about just beam them until you win. Okay. They're gonna win this thing. How many wild cards do I get? 3? I get 3 of those? Yeah. Okay. We'll get one more in this division. It's the Jays. They're coming in second. Young hot team. They'll be second. No Yankees. It's important. Remember that. Coming out of the Central. All right. I'm going chalk here. Got to go chalk here. I mean, what are we talking about? It's the White Sox. It's Nunez's favorite manager in all of baseball. It's
Fuck Tony
Chicago
La Russa.
White Sox.
That guy doesn't know what baseball in 2021 is, for sure. I can say that with the utmost certainty. He doesn't know what sport he's managing right now.
Could be true. And then another wild card team, the Seattle Mariners. We've talked a lot about them potentially making the jump. The last wild card team, actually, I'll just say the winner. It makes more sense to say the winner. Lightning crashes. Thor is back. Okay. Thor is back. Mike Trout staying healthy. Austin called it. The Angels are taking the AL West. The Astros will still make the playoffs. That's my prediction. So
The hell did I call that?
You said Mike Trout was going to stay healthy.
Going to stay healthy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the follow-up.
Astros. Yeah. Sorry. Astros, Mariners, Jays for wild card. White Sox, Angels, Red Sox as the division leaders.
All right. Austin.
All right, quick and easy here. Blue Jays winning the East, White Sox winning the Central, and I don't know what you guys are smoking. The Astros are winning the West. Good pitching, good team. The rest of that division stinky poo poo doo doo. Wild card teams. I'm going to have the Red Sox and Yankees as well. I'm going to have the Rays out as well. I'm like missing the playoffs like everybody else as well. That sounds bad. Doesn't sound smart. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have the last wild card be up between the Angels and Mariners. I just unfortunately think the Angels are cursed. So I think the Mariners will get in that third spot as the end of the day. Well, there you have it.
All right. It's time to go to the National League, which I think will probably be more interesting in terms of predictions. Myself, I'm going to be picking the Dodgers to win the West. Ooh, spooky.
Oh, who are you going in the Central? Oh,
the Brewers to win the Central.
Oh,
wow.
wow.
Whoa. And the East is hard. The East is the hard one. I'll be taking. It's all about the Mets, baby. Love the Mets. Go hit a home run, baby. Love the Mets. Go Mets. I'll be taking the New York Mets to win the division this year. Sneaky comeback, by the way, is going to be Carlos Carrasco, who people have seemingly forgot is a really good pitcher. Sorry, he didn't have great years in 2019 and 2021. The last I checked, he had cancer in one of them, and then in the other one, played through a torn hamstring and loose bodies in his elbow. So I think we can kind of excuse those and look back to as far as 2013, where he was one of the most consistent pitchers in baseball. So it's another guy the Mets have. It's going to come down to health a lot for that team. Specifically, if DeGrom's elbow explodes, you can throw this prediction out. And, a couple pieces in their lineup as well. I've got to stay healthy. So the Mets, it's all about the Mets, baby. Love the Mets. And then for my wild card teams, I'm going to be picking the Braves. I'm going to be picking. This one's hard. I'm going to pick the Padres. I think they can comfortably keep their head above water without Tatis for probably the first half of the season. I expect the pitching staff to actually be better this year, especially with Mike Clevenger coming back and being fully healthy. And then the third wild card team, you got to choose the third wild card team between the best defense in baseball and the worst defense in baseball. But I also think, their offenses are probably not. Oh God, that's hard. I think I'm going to go with the Cardinals because I think they're a little more balanced in terms of their overall talent level. I think the Phillies are pretty top heavy. And when you get to the bottom of that lineup, the back end of the rotation and the bullpen, coupled with, again, a truly important defense, it's going to be a lot to overcome for that team to win a lot of games this year. So give me the Cardinals as my third wild card team. What say you, Mark?
I will go with the Braves winning in the East. As much as I like the Mets, I can't pick the Mets to win the National League East. Speaking of cursed organizations, the New York Mets don't get much more cursed than that. In the Central, I'll take the Cardinals to win the division. I really like what the Cardinals are working with. Maybe it's just a little bit of that magic, that machine magic in the last year of his career. Going out with Yachty and probably Waino, they're going to be going out trying to win a lot of games. They want to see all those three guys play in the postseason again together for what will most likely be the final time. And I'm going to take the Dodgers in the West. I have a brain. For wild card teams, I'll take the Brewers. I don't know how good the Brewers are going to be this year. That pitching staff is obviously insane, but everything else falls on Christian Yelich's shoulders.
Their lineup got better this offseason.
It's still not good.
It was a fine lineup last year.
I don't really like the Brewers lineup.
They added Hunter Renfroe, who might hit 900 home runs in that launching pad.
Yeah, and that's great. And I love Hunter Renfroe. Did a great job for the Red Sox, but I still, top to bottom, I really don't like that lineup all that much. I think Willy Adames played over his head last year. I don't think he's that good of a hitter.
Oh, shit. Willy Adames should have been my long shot for NL MVP. So I'm going to talk about this more on the fantasy draft episode we do next week. But Willy Adames, his career on the road as a 291 hitter, and has been well documented by himself in saying that he just couldn't see at Tropicana Field. And then in turn, after leaving the Rays, hit like 287 with like a 28 home run pace. So I think Willy Adames is just a studly hitter. And when it comes to fantasy, and again, we'll talk about this next week, I don't really see that much difference in the numbers that he's going to put up and the numbers that someone like Carlos Correa is going to put up this year. Anyways, continue.
I don't know. I'm not in love with the Brewers, but I'll take them to grab a wild card out of that. I'm going to pick the Giants to grab one out of the West. I think there's enough pitching still there as long as Carlos Rodon can stay healthy. As much as I just said Matthew Boyd sucks. Him going to the Giants intrigues me because he's exactly the type of pitcher that they turn into a guy who's going to have like a 3.3 ERA and strike out a million guys. They've still got DeSclafani. I already mentioned I love Logan Webb. So I think that pitching's going to be really good. The offense really was good last year, and they actually hit home runs, which is something the Giants never do. So I really like that offense, and that means I'm going to have the Padres missing the playoffs. It's tough. I think those two teams are an absolute toss-up. I just went with the one that I think will be more consistent. And then, I'll take the Mets to make a wild card spot.
This doesn't mean you have to leave the Padres out. You can leave the Mets out. Cursed organization. Cursed franchise.
I could, but with the acquisitions they made, like you were shitting on Mark Canha earlier. I think Mark Canha is a great acquisition. He does more than get on base. He hits for power. He can play multiple positions. Same with Eduardo Escobar. I really like that acquisition.
Forgot about Eduardo Escobar.
Yeah, he's going to hold down a regular spot in the infield.
Yes, he's a Met.
Yeah. So it's hard for me to pick against the Padres, but I would rather put the Mets in there.
You forgot about another one that the Mets are getting back. Robbie Cano, fresh off of his 90th PED suspension.
Yo, Chano.
I didn't forget.
He's a full-time DH basically at this point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to play him over.
Here's the problem, though. They're probably he still plays pretty good defense, but they've already committed to Jeff McNeil being their second baseman, which means that they're left between Robinson Cano and Dom Smith, who you want Robinson Cano to be your everyday DH, but Dom Smith can't play the field to save his fucking life, so they'll have to figure
Also,
out.
probably better than
Cano
Cano at this
first.
point. So
They have
Pete
Pete
Alonso do it first defensively. Yeah, who cares? Who cares about playing first? You get an all-time DH. Why do those guys even play the field?
This is
honest
question.
Let's say this is the problem. Guy. Why play?
This is what I'm saying is you already have someone taking up first. You now have someone taking up second, and you don't want either Dom Smith or Robinson Cano in the outfield. Someone has to DH.
Yes. Make Cano play first. What do you mean? I'm saying, why do guys like Pete Alonso, sluggers who just happen to sit on a bag, why even play him?
That doesn't solve the issue. They still want to get Dom Smith's
Mark
bat in
Cano's
the lineup.
Oh, Dom Smith's got a good bat?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
you just can't defend.
Oh, that's troublesome.
Yeah. Shout out to Vince yesterday, who was like, I don't know who this Corbin Burns fella is, but.
Okay, Dom Smith and Corbin, totally different.
I didn't say you were doing it. I just said Vince did it.
Okay. Good. Vince is an idiot. This Burns fella. Or this Burns guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Josh, it's your turn. We're trying to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No, I'll spit them out then. Dodgers, Cardinals, because I want to see two undocumented 50-year-olds win a Central. And then I'd love the Mets in the East with the Braves, Phillies, and Padres. Be my wild cards.
The Phillies. That's a fair pick.
Big Nick.
Yeah.
Big Dick Nick.
Sounds good. I'm going to go Braves. Brewers, Dodgers for me. And then wild card, I have to go Mets. The Cardinals have to make. I mean, 3 teams in that division are going to win less than 65 games. So the Cardinals just have to win 95 games. It's just going to happen. And then it's really Padres Giants again. This whole scam for me. And I hate the Giants. So I'll go Padres.
Okay. It's time for our World Series predictions. Admittedly, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna predict. I kind of do. Give me the Blue Jays in the World Series. Give me the Dodgers in the World Series. Give me the Dodgers winning the World Series. Ooh,
that's so hot,
dude! I'm such a sharp, bro. That's so sharp.
That probably is pretty sharp.
Yeah. What about you, Mark?
On the National League side, I'll take the Braves. I think the Braves go back. I really like the construction of their roster. And like I said, I'm a huge fan of Matt Olson this year. And I'm also going to take the Blue Jays on the AL side. Give me the Blue Jays over the Braves. I've got my bet slip sitting up there from when I went to Turning Stone the other day. Bet on the Blue Jays. So I'm going to be taking them.
Josh, what do you got for us?
Yeah. Sorry. Oh yeah. Me third. I get you. Mets over the Sox. Which Sox, you ask? Mark, stay bricked, dude. Stay bricked. I want you bricked all episode long. Mets, they do it, dude. Cursed my ass. Max Scherzer, winning mentality. Okay.
All right.
Similar to Josh, I just don't see. I mean, this is obviously assuming health. I don't, even though I have them as a wild card team. I don't see the Mets losing a playoff series with DeGrom, Scherzer. I just don't even think it's physically possible. So I got them going to the World Series, and like most others here, I will have the Blue Jays playing them, and I'm gonna have the Mets winning it all against the Blue Jays.
So, yeah, nice.
So you both have the Mets as a wild card team winning the World Series.
No,
Yep.
I think. Oh, you have
Oh,
wild
I
card
had,
too.
no. I have them winning the division. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have them. I don't think they're going to be too good in a 162 game series. But a 5 or a 7 game series, yikes.
Yeah. Cool. That's our preview. Before we head out, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Hot Stove Pod. That's at Hot Stove Pod on Twitter. Here on the YouTube side, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment. Who do you think's winning the World Series? Who's your picks for MVP? With some bold predictions for the season, if you will. Hit the notification bell as well. Notify yourself to when we got new stuff coming out. Next week, we will have an episode out on Monday. It'll be a day earlier next week because next Sunday, we're going to be recording our fantasy baseball draft like we have done we only did it last year, actually. But yeah, next Sunday, we're going to be recording that. So we'll have a fantasy baseball draft episode out for you guys next week. And then the season's going to start. So, yeah, place your bets, get everything in for opening day. Have a great time. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.